Hi, welcome to the channel. Today's video we are doing a first wild camp with Emily, who's my youngest daughter. She's going to be 2 next week, so she's managed to get in her first wild camp, haven't you? And this is the morning after, because last night was quite a long night of cooking and eating and getting set up and generally just having some quality time together, wasn't it? So thought I would just do a bit of an intro now. So yeah, it was a heck of a walk in. My poor brother decided to take a trolley to get all the stuff, along with a massive 70-80 litre backpack as well. And we chose perhaps the wrong trail. It was full of challenges. There was fallen trees to get the trolley over, bits that are just way too narrow to fit down. Yeah, just an absolute effort. I think we did the first mile in about 20 minutes along the road. And then when we got into the sand dunes, I think the next mile took about an hour and a quarter. So yeah, a pretty tiring walk down.
Help! Need help?
It's actually quite a good trolley, to be fair.
My bag!
2.4 miles in. After a mile of easy road walking, it's been 1.4 miles of absolute slog. I am exhausted. My back is killing me. Had to carry Emily all the way on my shoulders. My brother's having an absolute nightmare with the trolley, the truck thing. Fallen trees, just everything has been a challenge. So we're finally cutting left towards the sea, and hopefully I followed this path a fair way and come back on myself now. Hopefully this path will lead us to somewhere where we can realistically pitch a tent. A little bit of shelter because it's really windy today as well. But yeah, it's been an absolute slog.
Oh, we saw a million, billion caterpillars on one leaf.
Went to the beach, but it was really windy, so we headed back inland and found a nice pitch in the shelter of a tree. Had a nice little hot dogs and burgers. And yeah, Emily wasn't tired when we first got into the tent, were you? You weren't tired at all. But eventually when she got settled down, you slept like a log, didn't you? Slept really well. and it was actually really nice sleeping next to her in the tent. It's nice to have that close contact. It was good, wasn't it?
That. Shush. That. Shush. That. Shush.
She's woken up in a pretty good mood today, but also a touch grouchy for reasons I don't really understand, but you know, there we go. That's just kids, isn't it? But yeah, there's definitely a few things about camping with kids that makes it more challenging, especially when they're at this age, is that they kick the camera for one. So it's certainly a challenge taking young kids wild camping, and it kind of undoes most of the reasons why you go wild camping, you know, the peace, the relaxation and stuff, but it does give it a complete different experience, and I think it's good to get the kids out into nature and stuff and change the scenery. So it has been good. It's just very difficult to get all of their gear and your gear into or onto one backpack. I obviously had to use all of the external strapping of the OEX to the max to get all the stuff on. I haven't packed the smallest tent. I've got my little 2-person tent, which is a really superb little tent, but it's quite bulky, and 2.75 kilos, quite heavy as well. But I was glad of the height and space when we were getting changed and getting your pyjamas on and other bits and pieces, weren't we? But yeah, it's been a really good night, so I'm going to do a bit more filming on the way back, I imagine, because we're going to try and take a different route back that might be a bit friendlier to the trolley. But yeah, really ideal little spot here. Second largest sand dunes in Europe, apparently. Oh, got the camera again. Right, we'll catch up in a bit. Pretty much packed away now. It's a bit of a grey day, to be honest, but I'm going to warm up very shortly as I start lugging this stupid backpack. Actually, the OEX backpack, for a 50 litre bag, you can get so much stuff in it and on it. The external strapping is really good. When I first got the bag, I just wondered what the heck all the clips and straps were for, but now, having used it a lot, yeah, you can get so much stuff on it. So yeah, tent, 2 camping chairs, tracking poles for one of the camping chairs, 2 sleeping bags, 2 sleep mats, 2 sleep pillows, a shed load of spare clothes, nappies, wipes, just, you know, all of it into one bag. Anyway, I better go because Amelie just walked into a massive pit of sand, so I better go and sort her out. She's normally a pretty good walker, but yesterday and today she seems to have absolutely no interest whatsoever in walking anywhere, so it's been an extra 2 stone of weight on top of my 18-kilo backpack. So has certainly been a challenge. It's probably the hardest 3-mile walk I've ever done to a camp before, but it's been worth it because she's had a good time. She slept really well. Haven't you? You enjoyed it, really? Gonna say hello? Gonna say hi to the camera? No, camera shy now. Anyway, we're gonna start plodding back. We've got no idea which route to take. We're in a valley with just hills of dunes all around us, so we're not quite sure which way to go. We don't really fancy going back the way we came yesterday because that was just a nightmare. So yeah, it could be another very, very long walk back to the car today. I've done my new video since last time because the tire tracks are still here. It's 1.3 miles. It has been an absolute slog, up and down sand dunes, deep sand, wind-blown drifts because it's still really windy as well. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd recommend coming here again with a trolley, and even the backpack with Emily on a shoulder ride most of the way. It is just really, really hard work, the sinky sand. I mean, it's good exercise, don't get me wrong, it helped me lose a tiny bit of weight, but it has been an absolute slog, and we're still quite some distance and quite some hills before we get back to the car park. So, and we won't get back to the main car park. We're parked a mile away from there. So yeah, really quite a challenging morning. Finally back on an actual road. We're only done 2.36 miles, but that was really hard work. So both glad to be out of the dunes, back on solid ground. It's about 3/4 of a mile now from where we are currently to the car, so only about a 3-mile walk, 3 and a bit. But tough, very, very tough. So it has been a really good camp, but also a realisation that when you have got kids, perhaps to be slightly less ambitious of how far you go and the kind of terrain you're going into. So we found a really secluded spot away from people, litter, everything like that. So it was a really safe place to camp with kids, but it was hard earned, that kind of solitude. And yeah, the dunes, this huge complex of sand dunes, so it is really hard to pick the best way through, especially when you've got a lot of weight on. You don't want to necessarily turn back on yourself too many times, so temptation is just to follow the course you're on, and no matter how tough it gets, stick to it, which is what we did yesterday. But no, it's been a good camp. Amelie's first camp, it's her first birthday in 3 days time, so good to get a wild camp in before she's 2. So yeah, I'd heartily recommend taking young kids out like this, but learn some of the lessons that I've learned today in terms of distance, weight, terrain, because I am feeling it, and my shoulders, I'm really going to feel it tomorrow. I know that. It was bad enough getting back up this morning and getting it back on the shoulders again with the very heavy backpack, but worth it. She's had a great time, I've had a great time. So yeah, definitely try it. If you have stuck with the video till the very end, huge congratulations. Not many people manage that on YouTube. So massive thanks for watching. Huge thanks to myself and Amelie and my brother and the rest of the kids. And I will see you in the next one.